Hey, beautiful souls. I pray that you all are having a blessed day so far. Shout out to Planet Ty 007. She asked me some time ago. Now, I'm about to digress a little bit. She asked me some time ago what inspired me to do YouTube and where do I see myself on this platform in 2 years. Now, when she asked this question, I had asked you guys to, drop some questions down in the comments so I could do a Q&A video. Maybe do a cute little mukbang or something. I don't know. I haven't done a mukbang in a minute. But I eat, though. I do eat. I do eat. But anywho, she asked that. So, yes, please drop some not comments, drop some questions down below so that I can answer them for you guys. Also, it gives me I like to gain inspiration through my interactions with people. So that's why I'm always like prompting you guys, like, go down in the comments, let me know this, let me know that. I gain inspiration from these interactions, right? Anywho, so what made me start YouTube is very interesting. I was dealing with a lot of social anxiety at the time. And I mean, it was hectic. It was intense. I think I've told you guys this story plenty of times, but I constantly felt judged, and I judged myself very harshly. I was very critical of myself, and so I had been praying to God. God, help, give me the confidence I need to, just be comfortable. I felt so uncomfortable, and now the social anxiety did not derive from just out of thin air. I was dealing with a lot of narcissistic behaviors around me, and people taking my kindness for weakness, and I was dealing with a lot of weird narcissistic behaviors in people, and I had a very traumatic experience. I had two very traumatic experiences before I even started YouTube, and I feel like through me praying to God, hey God, I need more confidence. I'm living my life in fear every day, in fear of judgment, and I wasn't always like that. I wasn't always like that. I may have had some timid behaviors. I was either a little timid or angry and very vocal. And I could be a very vocal person. I could be a very dominant person. And I didn't want people to feel the ways I felt in the past dealing with dominant personalities. I didn't know how to balance the, dominant personality with also having a soft, good heart. It was either one or the or. And as I got older, I started to balance it out. But yeah, that's what helped me start YouTube, God. And what's interesting is I was working at a place called Donut Plant in New York. I was working in the office as an office assistant, and a woman, she was very crafty, very, very crafty. She knew how to knit and do all kind of really cool things. And I was like, oh, you should get on YouTube. Now, at this time, I was only watching YouTube mukbangs because I was pregnant, and raw meat, I didn't cook as much when I was pregnant because the smell of raw meat was sending me, okay? I could not take the smell of raw meat. So I watched mukbangs, and my son loves life. He loved the jingle. So, yes, how do I know? He was in my tummy, just, he was. And then also when he came out, he still liked the jingle. She was one of the OGs mukbangs that I was watching back in 2019. 2018, 2019. Because pregnant with my son 2018, had him in 2019, February. Anyways, I was telling this girl at the job, I was like, you should do YouTube and stuff like that. And she was like, why don't you do it? And I was like, me? That's not something that was on my mind at all. Because like I said, I judged myself too critically, and I was afraid of judgment. I was afraid of people finding my flaws, searching for my flaws, using my words against me because I had these things done to me. When you grow up with very critical personalities, people who criticize everything, I dated men who criticized me a lot. Like I couldn't just be comfortable and be free. I felt like I correct myself. I felt like I couldn't be comfortable and free in my skin because I was dealing with a lot of people who criticized me too harshly. And then I took on and internalized what people did to me, and I started doing it to myself. So with that being said, I was praying to God about, gaining more confidence and, feeling better about myself in general, loving myself more, feeling better about myself. And one day, after I had my son, me and Lexi just decided to do a video. We just decided to do a video, and it was more comfortable doing it with Lexi. Okay, in the beginning, I only felt comfortable doing it with her. I had anxiety before we would start. I would have to, go to the bathroom, breathe a bit. I don't know what it was with being on the camera, knowing that anyone in the world could see me, and knowing how huge the world is and how many people are there to just look at you and pick you apart. And I read comments avidly. I'm an avid comment reader. You're going to hear me say that a few times. And so I see how people pick people apart for the smallest thing. They'll come to your channel consistently. Your haters sometimes are your biggest supporters. And I never understood that. Don't get me wrong. There's some people who I'm not hating on, but they kind of low-key get on my nerves. And so I go to their channel to read the comments to see if other people feel the way I feel. I do that. I do. But I pray for them. I pray for the betterment of the world. Okay? Right? That's my little quirk. I read comments. I really like to read comments. And so knowing how people pick people apart because they're so comfortable behind a screen, I had terrible anxiety, but I just did it. And I think that courage, that courage came from God. It could have only come from God. So that is why I started YouTube. That is what inspired me to start YouTube, the courage that I received from God. And it felt like signs. You know, her saying, why don't you start? It wasn't on my mind at all. I don't even know what made her say that, because she didn't know any skills I had or anything. She didn't know any of my talents. She was just like, I think you should. And that stuck with me because it was odd. And then there were some other signs as well. I was on, I forgot her name, but she's not on YouTube anymore, but I forget her YouTube name. She was like one, like a YouTube journalist or, YouTube gossip channel. And for some strange reason, I was always watching her videos and commenting, but for some strange reason, she said, you should start a YouTube channel. I'm like, why are people saying that? I thought that it was really weird that a few people had said that. And so to me, for me and my journey, I pick up these little signs, and if it feels a certain way to my body and to my spirit, then I'm like, okay, right? And I've been praying for God to give me confidence. He said, I'm gonna give it to you, but please know this will not be an overnight fix. And it was not. It was not an overnight fix at all. Let me tell you, it was actually difficult. It was hard. When I started doing the YouTube videos alone, I would have panic attacks almost before every video. And you couldn't necessarily tell. There was some people that picked up on, a little bit of timidness. I would feel like my sister would judge me in the videos, like when I'm overly excited, she's like giving me the side eye, which she does all the time. But what I had to learn is be yourself despite how other people may feel about it, especially if you're not doing anything to offend anyone, you're just enjoying yourself. If people feel triggered by you enjoying yourself, that is a them problem. Not saying that she feels that way, but she just stays side-eyeing me. And on camera, I felt embarrassed. I felt like I'd rather somebody pick up on my energy. We, both be hyper and having a good time, but she would just side-eye me and I would be embarrassed. Anyway, so that's what my journey on YouTube and on social media, period, because I was hiding for a long time due to the social anxiety. And yeah, God gave me courage and I just started making videos. And then when I started doing videos alone, I had to gain even more courage because now it's just me against me on the camera. And that was difficult for some time. For other people, they just do it and it feels like nothing. But for me, now it feels like nothing. I just pick up the camera and I'm like, it doesn't faze me now. But back then, completely different. That's how I know that God works through you. That is my testimony. I'm a testament of how God works through you, because I couldn't do this with ease before. I constantly felt judged all the time, right? So, yeah, that is what inspired me to start YouTube, feeling like I was getting signs from God in order to get the confidence that I needed to, show up as my dominant self, to show up in my power. And I feel like when you ask God for something, you don't know how he's going to do it. You just got to trust that it's going to get done. And you're just like, please give me a blueprint, Lord, please. But it's hard. The unknown for me is very difficult, coming from a place where I was always criticizing myself and having fear of the unknown. So trust me, I'm not coming from a righteous place. The unknown is hard to cope with, not knowing what's going to happen, especially if you're someone who likes to be in control. But true control is control of your mind. Facts, period. Now, she asked, where do I see myself on this platform in 2 years? I see myself being huge in 2 years, because I feel like now I have the determination to see this through, and understanding where my mind is and knowing when I need to take a little time to myself and how often I need to post and what feels good to me posting, right? Before, just doing the mukbangs didn't feel good. It felt annoying, actually, just doing mukbangs. I didn't want to just do mukbangs. I wanted to do whatever it is I want to do. So if I wanted to have a video like this where I'm talking to y'all, I wanted to do that. So for me, the niche needed to be doing me. Okay, especially with I'm self-diagnosed ADHD. I need to do me. I need to be free. I need to have variety. And just sticking to the mukbangs, I didn't realize it at first because sometimes we're unaware of our own feelings and we ignore what our body is telling us until it starts to scream. And I was ignoring the fact that I did not want to just do mukbangs. I'm like, why do I feel so irritated all the time? Why do I feel so annoyed doing this? And that was the reason. I wanted to do whatever it is that I wanted to do. If I want to do home decor, that's what I want to do. If I want to do this, anyway, I digress. I see myself having hundreds of thousands of subscribers, honestly, but not just subscribers, supporters who I also support. I want it to be a positive relationship between me and those who watch me and those who support me. That is what I want. I want our interactions to help us to grow. I want it to be a positive environment. We can have fun, not take things too personally, and just enjoy human interaction where we can laugh together, have deep conversation, cook together. You know I love being in the kitchen, y'all. Okay? Okay. So that is what I want. I want it to be a relationship between myself and whoever is supporting me and watching me. I don't want it to be like, oh, you guys are my fans. No, that's not what I want. It's a give and take relationship. And so I want to be able to support you guys as well as you support me. And yeah, so I see myself having hundreds of thousands of awesome, kind-hearted, beautiful souls of supporters. I see myself cooking for people. Yeah, like on a great scale. I definitely see that. I see a lot of amazing things with me with cooking and interacting with people. That is my dream. All right, to be able to do that. And so I'm gonna work towards it, whatever I gotta do. And I'm gonna continue to pray, continue to put God first, continue to love on my family, and continue to just cook, do what I enjoy, and just be myself and my authentic self, and enjoy the fact that God answers prayers. Okay, because the only way I can be on here and expressing myself in the ways that I do with more confidence is because of God. I asked for it and he gave it to me. Although sometimes life be life and the confidence don't feel as confidential. You don't feel as confident some days, and that's natural. You just gotta flow like the seasons. Things change. But know what's in your heart, keep God in your mind, and just keep on keeping on. Now I have started over so many times. I'm not ashamed of that. I'll start over as many times as I need to. Okay, I'll keep reinventing myself as many times as I need to, and I don't need anyone's permission or opinion on how many times I'm doing that. And you have to tell yourself that, because sometimes you're like, oh my God, I'm embarrassed. I got to start over again. I got to reinvent myself. Yes, you do. And there's nothing wrong with that. That is growth. All right. Anyway, this video is 13 minutes long. I always talk too long. Always. Anyways, I love you guys. Thank you for tuning into this video. Thank you, Planet Tide 007. Please go check her out. I'll leave her link down in the description box. Also, shout out to our first member, Jadia. Yay, hooray. Shout out to Jadia. Thank you for becoming an Anlex TV family member. We so appreciate you. I thank you. I thank you. You've been rocking with us for a long time. We've been rocking with you for a long time. And we just appreciate you. Thank you for being such a funny, humorous, bright, beautiful spirit that you are inside and out. Planetize, same to you. I'll leave both their links down in the comments. And yes, you can become a member. I'm going to have all kinds of cool things. So I've always had really great ideas. And here's my alphabets acting up. The ADHD is acting up. But I always have really great ideas. And I don't see them through. Because sometimes I'm like, is the juice going to be worth the squeeze? You know what I'm saying? Because you can make a lot of content and really push things out. And sometimes you won't see the result that you want to see for a very long time. And so some of my ideas I have not pushed forward with because I want the juice to be worth the squeeze. I want to know in my body that when I do this, I want everything to be a give and take. I like equality, okay? I like balance, all right? That's what I'm trying to create in my life, balance. So if I'm pushing things out, I want it to come back like this. Anyways, I'm out of here, you guys. I love you. God bless and peace.